from the CNET New York studios. It's 359, episode 244, and it is a packed house today. BBG here with Ben Fox, Ruben, Roger Cheng, and Alfred Ng, and we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Do you even have the graphic for all three of us?
I don't.
Whoa, we've overwhelmed the graphics.
We broke the podcast.
All right, now on to the big headline. We're going to be talking about Uber CEO Travis Kalanick officially stepping down, not just taking a leave of absence, but resigning from the company as CEO. He's staying on as a board member, though.
Get out.
We'll be talking about the OnePlus 5, the best phone you've probably never heard of, and we'll talk about a Jones feature on love and breakups in the YouTube era. So, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Brian will get to them and pick out the best. We'll get to them in about 3 minutes and 59 seconds.
Here we go in 3, 2.
Ooh. Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Big news from Uber. CEO Travis Kalanick said he would resign as the company still grapples with heaps of controversy. This comes after he said last week that he would take a leave of absence. And so while he's still staying on the board, this is definitely a more permanent move. But I gotta ask, is this enough?
I mean, I'm just surprised that actually happened. Like, money talks. Basically, there was an investor coup, and they were like, we got to get rid of you. And, did you expect this to happen this quickly?
No, honestly, I thought when he took his leave of absence, I thought that was the code for, like, I'm actually quitting, but I'm just saving face. Because, he made these comments about, Uber 2.0 and
Travis 2.0.
And Travis 2.0, but in reality, like, you can't have this Uber 2.0 with Travis as CEO, right?
It's true, but like, why didn't he just resign then? It's just kind of awkward.
I'm surprised that you're surprised that this happened. Mm-hmm. I saw this coming like a mile away. This man was like the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 of like CEOs. Where like his name was like tainted with,
I agree.
Just bad press.
Yeah, I agree. I just thought it might take a little longer. You're right, though. It's true.
But what I wonder, though, is, in terms of this culture that he's built, like, is Travis leaving enough? Like, or is it, do you need sort of a top to bottom overhaul of this entire company?
They removed like a lot of people.
They have.
Yeah,
yes.
it's not just Travis.
But they've noted many times that like all the employees, like top to bottom, I guess except for the women, tend to like, he's a popular guy within the company, right? So it's sort of a cultural that goes top to bottom. It's not just some of those few execs that have left.
So do you know like who's now being viewed as the figure that could actually change the culture there?
That's the thing.
Come on. You know the name. Ariana Huffington.
Who's a board
Ariana
member.
Huffington is a board member, and she's been getting much more vocal lately, saying...
She's not involved with the day-to-day operations, though.
No, she's not involved with the day-to-day operations, but she's definitely increasing her influence in the company.
You know who is running this company right now?
No, I don't.
It is a 10-member committee of executives.
Good
This company is literally being run by committee now.
Luckily, it's a middleman operation that just like coasts along on its own
That's
momentum.
true. There's enough automation in the whole process that the drivers can, they're basically just collecting money.
They can just mint money, even though the company itself is falling apart.
Well, the company can mint money, not the drivers, and I feel like that's one of the things that probably needs to change about them.
That is true. All right, let's move on. We got to talk about the OnePlus 5. Which our own Lynn Law called an outstanding phone that gives you the most bang for your buck.
Editor's Choice.
An Editor's Choice Award. I mean, this is a phone that you've probably never heard of, unless you're one of the more savvy phone customers. You've never heard of the OnePlus brand.
I'm a savvy phone customer.
I mean, I would disagree with that. There was a pop-up shop in New York City, and the lines went like around the block.
Yeah, it was out in the Meatpacking District, and the line literally reached from Apple Store to Samsung Store in the Meatpacking District. That's how long it went. It went around the block. That said, this is New York City. I imagine there are a lot of savvy customers in New York City travel to Middle America. Do you think you'll see any more OnePlus fans there?
I don't think I'll see that many as I do in New York, but I will say this looks like a stellar phone, and I kind of want to get my hands on it.
And it's cheaper than a lot of other Android flagships.
That's the thing. It's known for high-quality material and specs for a very affordable price. All right, lastly, you'll want to check out Joan Sullivan's feature looking at the consequences of YouTubers living their lives in such a public fashion, which includes romances and breakups. A lot of these vloggers have experienced a lot of backlash, actually, when they break up with really their fans expecting all the intimate details, which can be pretty unnerving.
This happens to us being huge YouTube stars ourselves. So, yeah, definitely check out the story.
Still married, by the way. Love you, Angela.
Only because you don't want to explain to YouTube viewers.
Oh my God.
No, jeez, Alfred.
Don't get the guy in trouble.
All right, for more of these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
Yikes on bikes.
Dude, that was rough, Alfred. I'm just glad she never watches this thing. So,
Dude, you've been ragging on me all day. I'm glad you're at least doling it out, dishing out.
mean, I would hate to be in the scenario of all of these YouTube vloggers, though, where it's basically like you're showing your entire relationship and then you break up. Like, I don't tell any of my friends, like, if I'm in a scenario like that. So, like, to have to do that to, like, millions of viewers online, oh, my God.
So one of the things that stood out to me in that story, by the way, was Joan quoted somebody saying, you know, with celebrities, like regular celebrities, the song is the content or your movie is the content. When you're a YouTube star, your life is the content, which is like pretty, I mean, like it's just too transparent for me, I guess. Like I wouldn't want to share that much of myself either.
It's a different kind of culture, right? Like these folks have grown up living on camera. So everything about sharing just seems natural. That includes sharing their new interest, their love interest, right? Boyfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend. A lot of times they don't think about the consequences of that until it happens, right? Until they actually go into a breakup and it gets really messy and all of a sudden I don't want to share as much. But your fans are so used to that they're expecting.
I mean, yeah, it's the equivalent of like when you untag yourself or delete photos of you and your like girlfriend on Facebook, except it's like
it's in
thousands
front of
videos
and it's
like
in front of millions of viewers.
fans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like for this stuff though, it feels like it's like The Bachelor, but it never ends. Like you just follow them throughout the whole, even up until divorce, and then you follow them after that anyway because after the breakup, that person makes their own channel. Then you know that person's fans will go to that channel, and then you know they get all these comments like, "No, you guys were meant to be together."
Right, but like
we
think about it,
determine your
though.
relationship.
Think about it. Like the value of continuing to do that is probably huge. Like for the top tier folks that do this, you make a lot of money doing it, and just stepping away. Like this is for some of them, it's their number one. Like this is the way that they make cash. So they can't just give it up all of a sudden. And you can't all of a sudden create a new persona either.
I wonder if any of them have ever made have staged a breakup. And then for like more views, and
it's
then
possible.
like stage like getting back together to like please all the fans.
I feel like celebrities do that all the time.
Yeah, so
all
I'm
the
saying
time.
like these are people on like YouTube. So
I don't. It's a little bit different because, you know, back to that original point. Like when celebrities do it, their fans follow them for whatever the roles in the movies. They don't necessarily follow all the intimate details of their lives or try not to. And so it's a little bit different for YouTube. Like if you're staging something like that, I mean, you're fully committed to like living this live full time, I guess. So I don't know. Maybe it happens.
Not for me.
No.
what?
I'm not doing that. Like I wouldn't do this.
Well,
I wouldn't do it to myself.
So much for your promising career as a YouTuber.
Come on, man.
Yep.
By the way, this
Sorry.
is all happening as fans descend upon Anaheim, California today. Actually, starting today for VidCon, which is the big confab for YouTube stars. Mm-hmm. So,
Our questions.
fun stuff. Questions.
A little light. I just want to say I do not care about the YouTube drama.
I mean,
and I'm an avid
That's fair.
YouTube watcher, and I feel no pity for these people, these poor souls who decide to go in front of a camera
Right.
and go on and on and on about mundane crap and then get gifted tons and tons of more crap and then, oh, my heart's been broken.
You know what I've
I
noticed
don't want
though?
anybody to know about it anymore.
Wow, you're so cold-hearted.
I've noticed Why I Left Blank has gotten like really popular on YouTube lately. Specifically, Why I Left BuzzFeed, but like it's just been like everywhere. So I think like heartbreak and people leaving things is like really popular on YouTube. So if we can change the title of this video to Why I Left This Room,
Why I left Uber. Yeah.
Why I Left Uber would be appropriate.
Would be a very, very long video.
By the way,
Why
do
I
we-
left the 359 because we wasted too much time talking about idiotic YouTubers.
By the way, do we have any
my
questions
gosh.
on Uber or OnePlus?
We got a couple of comments. Stas, the video agent, says, "What's the salary for Uber? I can probably fit it in as an interim CEO."
Salary for the
salary for the CEO.
for the CEO.
I don't
mean,
know.
like Travis is
Couple bucks.
almost certainly a billionaire, right?
are they dividing?
Oh
it
yeah, but
among
also
10 people?
he's a massive shareholder, right?
Yes. Well, that's why
Because he's
a
the founder,
billionaire.
right?
I mean, like the next CEO that comes in probably isn't going to get that much of a chunk of the company, so they're going to have less money. But I'd like to see Ariana do it.
Are they dividing the current CEO salary among the 10 people running it?
I don't believe so. I believe it's just 10 existing executives that are in this committee,
So,
which sounds
So
mind-bogglingly
if anything, the
dumb.
CEO executive should be all 10 of their salaries combined then, by that logic.
Ah.
so what do you think the possibility is that like this actually results in an IPO or ends up having like an IPO never happen? Because like
That's
you're
a
gonna
great question.
you're gonna have new leadership, so
Right.
their interest in maybe getting the company public might be different.
I mean,
don't
if I
know.
was a CEO, that would be my priority. I'd clean up the image, clean up the reputation, and take this thing public, get my payday, and get out.
Yeah. I mean, like they might not end up with like the $70 billion valuation.
By
that
the
they
way,
have
Uber,
right now.
call me. Just I'm available.
Well, I mean, at this point, James in the chat says the next step in the Uber story is going to be the board voting him out, since he's still
Getting rid of him on the board. Yeah,
I think
to
that's a
me-
little bit tougher because of his shareholder.
Exactly.
His
That it's
investor
not
stake.
a
Yeah.
But he's not wrong. I mean, this guy's just getting buried. And
Yeah.
I
And
another
his name-
person I don't feel sorry for.
Yeah, his name is completely toxic.
Yeah.
right?
Which
Yeah,
is why I
poor-
found it like what happened to the clean break? Like how was he actually able to hold on to his board seat for God's sake?
I think
Like
it's because of his position. in the
I know,
company.
but like
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking with like the fact that he was able to hold on to the CEO spot for as long as he has too.
Right.
So he's still clawing on to some level of control in the company, and it's possible, Brian, as you said, that doesn't hold on to the board seat either.
I mean, I'm sure there are a number of involved parties interested in pursuing that route, but like you said, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, they can oust him as CEO, and he basically has to comply out of his own ego,
Right.
I guess, more than anything else. But yeah, getting voted out of the board is a little more complicated.
Yeah.
A comment from Jake Liu. He says drivers make so very little. Hoping that the result of this is the rates actually become better. Says 40 hours only gets about $600 in the LA area.
Ugh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
it's
awful.
terrible.
Well, also LA, I think there's probably tougher demand, right? Like people have cars out there,
True.
and if you
I mean,
don't
either
have a
way,
car,
too. Either
But
way,
that's
you
a
should not
full-time
make
salary.
$600
but
isn't a
I'm
living
just saying,
wage.
if you don't have a car in LA, if you can't afford a car, you can't afford Uber. You're probably taking a bus. So there's
Well, like $600 a week for 40 hours, like you're probably spending more on gas at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's awful. And I do feel that's definitely one of the things that they should remedy. Don't get me wrong, Uber has like a long list of issues, and it doesn't end with like Travis leaving.
right.
Um,
Definitely pay. I mean, look, they've just introduced the tipping feature, which
It's definitely
Which
a
is
nice gimme
definitely
for
a-
drivers.
Yeah, it's a good, nice step for drivers.
And this could be that idea could absolutely be another one if they're trying to keep drivers from in Exodus as well, trying to at least maintain the pricing and not continuously lower it is certainly a smart move, I would think, to just
But
help
I
stabilize.
don't know. The fact that like it's embarrassing that it even took this long for them to introduce tipping on this, and I
Yeah.
feel like we're grading
Totally.
them on a completely different scale here, where it's like, see, look, they're like good to drivers. They introduced tipping, a concept that's existed for
Ever.
years.
It's a great point. It's true. I mean, like, and that's just probably one of the least controversial controversies that they've had to deal with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like this whole thing.
Well, that's
has been a
because we're
train wreck.
we're on a curve where like we're talking about sexual harassment and telling people to not throw kegs off balconies. Like tipping seems like a very kind of safe issue.
Right, right. We
All
were
things
joking around
relative.
about like the Lyft reinventing the bus, and like that was so milquetoast compared to all the stuff coming out of Uber. That was just kind of funny.
Another contribution from Aldo says Uber in Miami gets 40 hours gets you around $5.50, and that doesn't include tolls or gas.
Wow,
That's-
wow,
Yeah,
that's
Miami.
rough.
Yeah.
Why do that?
That's really that's
So I
surprising.
would like to ask Aldo, why do that? I mean, like that does not sound like it's a recipe for success for a driver.
I mean, are there additional perks? Do you get tipped on the side regardless of how?
No.
the,
No.
No.
I know
There are
you're
no
not
tips.
supposed to, but,
No, but,
I
like,
don't. I
most
don't know if.
people- yeah,
I
I've-
don't know anyone who's ever like
pulled out their
pulled
wallet.
out money to give.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
because
the whole
you're not
point of
required
Uber.
to.
Is like, yeah, it's all completely seamless.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a different company.
you're right.
yeah. Well, Stas here contributes is $600 in 40 hours after the cost of business. And why do we need the app to tell people to tip? I tip them cash every time. See right there.
All
So he
right,
does.
so
I know,
good for
some
you.
people try to slip
Seriously,
it
good for
through
you.
the cracks.
I've never done that. Maybe I'm just a terrible person.
My interest.
I
in,
do it all the time. I usually give them 100 or
Shut up, dude.
depending on the distance.
Well, Stas has now reinvigorated my love of humanity.
Yeah.
Maybe we're all going to be okay after all.
No, we're not. We're all screwed.
Nope.
All right, let's switch gears back to YouTube real quick before we got to wrap it up for the day.
Sure.
Matthew Datcher. Hey, Matthew.
Hey,
What's
Matt.
up, Matt?
Speaking
Hi.
of YouTube, was there any discussion of advertisement gate? We haven't really gone into detail on that.
No,
we
so-
haven't
I mean,
talked about that.
this
but it
particular
wouldn't
story.
be a bad one to follow in the future
Yeah.
because it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Definitely. No, the story was really focused more on sort of the personal lives of these YouTubers.
Right.
Advertising Gate is a completely different issue. So
Yeah,
it's-
this was a profile. That's a story.
right. Well, that's like an issue. It's not just a story. It's an ongoing issue, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a personal fan of a number of channels that have been affected by it. So I'm kind of vaguely aware of it,
Yeah.
at least as
It's a
consumer.
complicated thing, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
and it really seems like a mega shot in the foot for YouTube.
Yeah.
That they're just kind of like spraying at the wall.
I
and hoping
think
for
it's
the
a shot
best.
on the foot for like YouTubers. I think for YouTube, they're doing like positioning themselves the best way to make the most money they can, regardless of like.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think they're
They're trying to make it a lot more family
making-
friendly.
I think they're going really
more ad money that way.
Yeah, but the residuals out of that don't match up with how many of them they're wronging who are being
yes, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
agree with that.
complete
I think
misfires.
it's-
Misfires.
yeah.
That's the language I'm looking for
Yeah,
here.
I think it's like they're misunderstanding what like people go on YouTube for. Like it's not exactly a family friendly platform.
Well, it's about being niche, and
Yes.
they've already developed the YouTube
Yeah.
Kids app and everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm not against more family friendly, but I am against them attacking people who have been loyal contributors and defenders for a long time
Yeah.
who are now caught in the crossfire.
Money talks.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
That's it. I mean, like they wanted to make a change because you need that ad money coming in. That's how Google makes like more than 90% of its cash.
Yeah. Real quick before we do wrap it up, we'll change directions one more time. We talked briefly about how Uber itself is largely automated, and we got a question from Outer Vision, Power Supply Calculator, great name.
Well, that was the entire name? Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the question.
No,
high power supply calculator.
since we did
What
talk
up?
about Uber becoming increasingly automated as a service, as a company, how likely are self-driving cars becoming in the next 2 years? And I would like to see that
Ooh.
applied to
2
our.
years?
2 years is a
2
little
years.
ambitious.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a little ambitious.
even-
Let's say 5 to 10.
I mean,
and
5
how
to
it
10,
applies
yes.
to ride-sharing apps.
I mean, I think that's what all the ride-sharing apps want in the end. They kind of want to take out the human element and replace them all with self-driving cars, right?
Yeah.
That's,
You
that's
don't
why
have to
Uber's
pay-
spending money to
That no one
invest in
ever
it.
watched Terminator.
And then you can
But
tip
you don't
the
have to pay
cars.
Total
salaries.
Recall.
They're available 24/7. You can order an Uber ride at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
It
They'll,
doesn't
they'll never
matter.
complain about pay.
Never complain
Right?
about pay.
So yeah, it's. I mean, in terms of automation, yeah, that's why these companies. I mean, they're doing the dance that they have to do in terms of like appealing to drivers now because they need drivers. But eventually, I mean, all these companies, even Lyft, as a
Lyft is definitely doing
Right.
these
Yeah.
partnerships too.
even though they frame themselves as sort of this positive alternative to Uber, ultimately, all these guys once self-driving car technology is workable and usable, they're going to drop all these drivers.
Which
I mean-
means those drivers essentially are helping fund their own demise.
I mean, I'm
Kind
pretty
of, yeah.
sure though that like the technology is developing along pretty well, and if it was only the issue of the technology in the next 2 years, that actually seems very
no,
feasible.
it's regulations.
Yeah, it's the government and it's the issue of the human drivers. There's so many like lobby groups basically saying let us keep our jobs kind of
Yep.
things, and then also why do we want these like machines on our roads? There's like a lot of like red tape that they need to cut through for this. That's the issue. That's like why it won't come in the next 2 years.
but
Technology's not the problem here.
but
This does-
it will come though eventually.
yes.
this does draw a question though. What if Uber replaced Travis
with a
with
robot.
A robot.
I knew you were going down that road.
He'd still be a bro.
I know.
robo
He'd be like,
bro.
would you like a keg? Would you like a beer, please?
I
Here's
am
a
a
40.
robro.
A robot. A brobit.
A robot.
Okay.
Robot.
That's where we are at the point in this podcast.
Yeah.
We had a really good question come in here at the 11th hour from Scott. I kind of wonder how much trouble Uber as a company is going to be in following this. In fact, do we think that they're going to improve their public image with the ousting of
I mean, I think
Kalanick?
that's going to be the priority for the new
That's the
CEO.
whole-
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
to change their messaging and change their reputation.
So a bit of a sidebar of that. Should Uber be worried about the new Waze car share feature?
Sure.
Yeah,
They should be
yeah,
worried
I
about
think-
everything.
Any competition, right? Yeah. I mean, there are
They're
still folks who do the whole.
Teflon.
There's,
I mean,
but there's still
are you-
folks who have
the
deleted
company or
the app.
the existence of the infrastructure of Uber as it stands right now has not fallen apart. People still use it
Right.
regardless of like the hashtag delete Uber effort. So but yeah, they should definitely be worried about their competitors at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Uber goes away
I will say this: as long as they can provide a price that's cheaper than its competition, which it currently does because it rips off so many of the drivers, people are going to continue using it. There's so many people that don't care about social issues or like bad behaving like CEOs
that's true.
and things like that, where it gets to the bottom line of, you were saying earlier, money talks. And if I can save like $15 on my ride home on this app, like a lot of people are going to be thinking basically, well, I don't care that the CEO has like terrible views.
Yeah. They're definitely going to be plenty of customers like that for sure.
All right, we are way over time. We got to wrap it up for the day, and we'll be continuing this discussion in the very, very, very near future.
Oh yeah.
All right, bring us home, Roger.
All right, if you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Feedburner, and Google Play Music.
And CNET.
Of course, CNET.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all tomorrow.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thanks for watching.